Good evening, friends. Welcome to the session. We have Saffron back with us. Welcome, Saffron.
Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for having me. Like always,
Yeah.
we are
So
connecting
you've been
after
an
a long.
important part of the SSR, Justice for SSR, and you've been with us right through these 5 years. We've been discussing every aspect of it. Now, what has happened is people are saying that it's because of the election time, because there's elections in Bihar as well as the BMC elections, that again politicians are raising the issue. But what has happened, Saffron, is that if you look at the Disha Salyan's father, Satish Salyan, he has, he had given a petition to the Bombay High Court, and now the court has accepted it, and to seek a fresh investigation into his daughter's death case, and has alleged the involvement of Uddhav Thackeray's son and former Maharashtra Minister Aditya Thackeray. Now, the writ petition was filed by Disha Salyan's father to the Bombay High Court registry, and the matter is likely to be mentioned by his lawyer for an urgent hearing next week. So, as you know, his advocate is Nilesh Oja, and he said that he will mention this matter on Monday or Tuesday next week for an urgent hearing. So, this is something that has suddenly come up, Saffron, and suddenly, everybody's scared, as in the Thackeray camp. And the father is busy saying that, see, no, it can't be his son. But as he was speaking, at the to the press, you could make out that Aditya Thackeray was, going through some sort of, turmoil, because his face was, his glasses were getting fogged, and you could see that he was getting really scared. So, after such a long time, this has come back, into the forefront. Saffron, what do you think is happening?
Ma'am, there are multiple scenarios according to me, and some of the people may not like hearing it. But one of the things that you have rightly spoken, that there are elections coming, right? And the political parties may use any case to gain some brownie points and to gain some votes. And there is a saying in Hindi, ki gade murde ukhad rahe hai, right? So they are trying to dig these graves out so that they get some mileage. Second reason I feel is that if a family had come to realization about their daughter's loss, they could have spoken in these 5 years. 5 years is a very long time. Even SSR's family did not take 5 years to come out, right?
Yeah.
So there is a process. When you lose your loved one, you grieve, you go through the different stages of grief, and then you accept. After you accept, you want to have justice if your loved ones are departed in an unnatural manner. And in this case, what I find very peculiar is that the timing of this thing is not sitting right in the entire process. He suddenly first going to the media when Disha was murdered, that like, please don't talk about our daughter like this. She was not murdered. She committed suicide and all. Any any person in first case, like once he would have seen his daughter's dead body, he would have figured out that this was not something that had happened. Even if he came out at that point of time and said that yes, I think there is something fishy, that would have helped. But okay, we give you the benefit of the doubt, because the criminals were itself in the power of in the power in Maharashtra at that time. And they must have given you some threatening calls or whatever, and must have asked you to keep your mouth shut. But now, after 5 years, you are coming out of the woodwork and asking for justice. While it serves us, like, SSR warriors like you, me, and millions of others around the world, what I think is that there could be some reason why this is being raked up so high right now than it has ever been in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. And Gloria is saying, Vinaji, people are doubting and saying that it's because of the upcoming elections. It's because that's been happening from 2020. Hope this time it's not manipulation, but real stuff. And Ajay says he's very glad to see you after a very long time. And Meera says something must have pushed the father to come out and speak out suddenly. Anyway, better late than never. So now here on Twitter itself, Saffron, a lot of people have been saying, that uh, perhaps the amount that they gave the father, you remember in the case of Nirbhaya, what they did in Delhi was to give the family a lot of money, and even give money for the brother's education, and that was accepted. A flat was given and all that. So similarly, here also something would have passed hands, and perhaps it was not given to its full extent, is what these Twitterati are saying, and that is why the father is annoyed, because not only has he sacrificed his daughter, but also the fact that they have gone back on their promise, whatever it is. So this could be one of the reasons. But if that is a reason, I find that very, very weird.
Of course, ma'am. We cannot rule this possibility out. First of all, we are not here to say that like that is the reason, but we are just calling out all the possibilities in our realm of aspect, because certain things have definitely happened which shouldn't have happened. And we were expecting that after this murder was taken place, that the father would come out. The first reaction you expect are from the family members. If people like you and me, we were not connected to Disha in any way, but we felt so much emotion. So we can only imagine what the family must have felt. And certain behavioral traits of these family cast that doubt in our mind. That's why we are saying that this could be a possibility that there was some monetary exchange, and not only Disha's family, but a lot of other people must have been compensated. And now all these skeletons are coming out because all these skeletons are coming out because people are really tired that a lot of noise is being made but no action is being taken. So I hope that this time there is some action. There is some hearing at least where Aditya Thackeray and people who have been named, all these actors, so-called actors, they are called to the court and they are taken up to task. But is that going to happen? That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah. Also, you remember very clearly that, see, one by one, all the YouTubers started quitting the movement and started going. Everybody, like everybody from Vivoranand to lot of people just quit, and they did not want to pursue it because they thought it was a gone case. And you remember, even Sandeep Fogart, he, I couldn't believe it when I saw his tweet saying that his sister, Sushant Singh's sister, had told him that please don't pursue this case because it's politicians are not going to come, to some sort of solution. So don't waste your time on it. And then when we questioned them, at that time they got scared. How can a sister say that, please, stop, pursuing the justice for Sushant? And that he was the person who had actually spoken a lot on Sushant Singh Rajput. So when he was also quitting, at that time, we found that there's something very strange happening. And as you said, a lot of people were being bribed, and a lot of people were being blackmailed. And if you strangely, if you ask, Grok, the AI app on Twitter, what really happened. So they're saying even the police have, questioned, and also they have information that they are, Ekta Kapoor and Dino Moria have also been, you know, sort of focused on, questioned on, about the timing of Disha Salyan's death and what happened. Because everybody knows now, it's common knowledge that the party happened at Ekta Kapoor's house on her birthday on 7th, and there was something. Disha was forced to go there, where her boyfriend was also there, and Disha Salyan saw something that she was scared about, and she discussed it with her boyfriend. So when the argument came, they separated them, and after that is what, something very bad happened to her. So in between, she had also called SSR, who had told her to escape from there. So now, this stupid theory that, they she jumped off the, flat and landed outside the flat premises is something ridiculous, because everybody knows that something was done to her, which is gang rape and murder, and she was thrown, out of a vehicle, a white vehicle which came, and they threw her out without any clothes. So these are all the facts that have come out, but still the people are not especially the police are not coming to the real facts. What I am, I want to ask you is that
So
it is now. Yes, yes. Please continue. Continue.
5 years ago, when this thing actually happened, right? Nobody knew about it until SSR's murder came into the picture, right? Once SSR's suicide theory was propagated on media, and then people came to know that, oh, there was a girl who has also committed suicide, but she was Sushant's ex-manager. That's when I was talking about this, the person that I was doing live with, he went to jail. So at that time we had clearly laid out what was the sequence of events that happened. And I would just like to, for people who may have forgotten or who are still thinking that there was suicide that happened, that was not the case. We had clearly laid out, like you said, there was party at Ekta Kapoor's house on June 7th, and Disha was with her friends at her own house, and she was forced to go there, or she was taken by Aditya Thackeray and company. They came in the car, they called her down with some ruse to talk to her. They forcefully took her, and in the car, I don't know what happened. Maybe they forced her to tell about the hard drives. You remember the hard drive? And she, maybe out of fear or whatever, called the actor Sushant Singh Rajput, because there is a call that she made on that night to Sushant Singh Rajput. And Sushant Singh Rajput, of course, he knew the gravity of that matter. Maybe he had the hard drive about and that those hard drives had some evidence of a crime these perverts were into. And
So here's Saffron. There is
Mhm.
another theory here that a person called Kailash Wag is tweeting. So he said that in those hard drives, there is allegedly, some top film actress, having, sex with Aditya Thackeray, allegedly. Okay, I'm just saying allegedly. So that is apparently there in the hard drives and much more, okay, with children as well. So all this Sushant Singh Rajput had, and they wanted to get their hands on it. And Sushant Singh was going to, actually reveal that. So this is something Kailash Wag and Twitterati is saying. I don't know how much that is true, Saprit.
uh, Yes, see, at this point, everything is on the table. There is literally no possibility that you can rule out when we are dealing with criminals of Aditya Thackre's and company's sort. So, yeah, it could be the case, whatever you have said. According to me, I think the most likely chain of events is that she was forced to go to the party and she was tortured there. She was killed there, raped, gang
Absolutely.
raped, murdered, whatever happened. And Sushant came to know about this. And since then, he was scared, and he knew that something is going to happen. That's why he wanted to expose all of these criminals. And that was the same night or day or during that time when Aditya Thackeray texted Riya Chakravarti that you get the hell out of there.
Hmm.
And that was the same time when Riya Chakravarti, the prime accused in SSR case, she came out of that house, blocked his number. She didn't want to keep any contact with him. But to Sushant's fate, on that day, his sister came to the house. Otherwise, the plan was to murder both of them on the same time, on the same night. But Sushant's sister stayed with him until 13th. And I think because of some family matter, she had to leave. And that was the night the murder was
So, in
committed.
which case, Saffron, see, you remember in this terrible, melodramatic case that involved Saif Ali Khan, everybody came. Nothing was very suspicious, okay. But the moment we heard that there is a very top person in Leelavati Hospital, you know, who was also involved in the investigation of SSR, that is Paramveer Singh. Recently we saw Paramveer Singh speaking about, saying that there's witchcraft and they could find bones of people in certain pots and all that. And, somebody has been doing witchcraft in Leelavati. Now, when a person is there, now it is your BJP government. Fadnavis is very, confident now. He speaks very confidently now. Why is Fadnavis not questioning Paramveer Singh and asking him and Wazi exactly what happened? You don't need anything. They are enough. They are proof enough that they will give you details of what is happening. But instead of that, he has been given a plum post, and also the fact that see scams are happening there even after he's come, because he Saif Ali, without any difficulty, he got 25 lakhs as insurance money. For what happened? Nothing happened to him. Yet he got the 25 lakhs. So, so it's like, from one scam to the other. So when these people are there right in your face, why is Fadnavis not taking the the stand that he will make sure? Because he kept boldly, he told Arnab, SIT has been formed, Disha Salian's case is going to be there. Every time the election comes, this man comes in front and talks as though he is a, just like they said about Saif
Like
Ali,
yeah.
yeah, roaring lion. But after that, he becomes a pussy, So this is very, strange, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is why exactly that we say that people like you, me, and our viewers, they can see through this, and there is an added dimension of logic behind all of these things that are happening. While innocent people, there are some innocent people who are also saying that it's good that these things are being discussed and whatnot, but we have to apply our mind and think that, like, are they really planning for justice, or is it just a game for them, to for some people to get money, for some people to just gain the political mileage. And you, hats off to you for calling it out on your forum, because a lot of the times I've seen that you get attacked for uh,
Yes,
not saying anything against the government in power, but which is exactly what you are saying. If we are not going to see results happening, we are going to question what is it that is taking so long. You keep saying that, oh, SIT has been formed. SIT, it's been like over 2 or 3 years now that the
yes,
SIT
yes.
is been formed. What is it that they are investigating now? Why is there no CBI closure report? Why there is no preliminary report that has been submitted by the SIT? Because if these things would have happened, they would have come into the news. Things of this
Absolutely.
sort don't get hidden, right?
Yeah.
AIMS report, there is no AIMS report. There is no CBI closure report. There is no report from SIT.
And
It just
also, did
happens.
you notice something very strange, Saffron? They started showing the body of Disha, at the funeral. Where are these pictures coming from? So, which means they have a whole host of pictures and they don't want to show it. And you'll see that she has, the cloth has covered her chin. And in the
Right.
postmortem, it was written that they have drilled a hole into her chin. Okay. And her skull was fractured. So tremendous torture has been, put on this young girl, and only after that she was killed. Of course, there would be other things like the dark net, so which is happening in many cases. Now, what is Fadnavis's usual answer is the matter is in court. So let us wait for the evidence submitted. Then we will decide over it. What evidence are you talking about, Fadnavis? The whole evidence has been, deleted purposely by the
True.
Thackeray government. And
True.
most probably, there'll be someone from your government also involved in it. And that is why you're keeping quiet like a mouse.
Absolutely, ma'am. Maybe he has been got given instructions that, like, just exchange money from these people, these criminals. If it serves our purpose, then don't say anything. And probably he's too busy being proud about his wife doing all those latkas and jhatkas and all those songs and whatnot that she is involved in. I think one really needs to think about this, that uh, all of this is happening while we may think for a short period of time. Why suddenly Arnab has started saying after 5 years?
But
In
yet,
between this,
Arnab is not questioning Fadnavis.
exactly, exactly. Not once he has said that why is the government that is in power is not taking any steps. Eknath Shinde is not being questioned. Fadnavis is not being questioned. And Eknath Shinde is the same person who was in some other group who was trying to defend Aditya Thackeray at that time, and now being mum. So all of this is has painted a very grey picture, and I really hope that something comes out of it. But is it, do I feel that something is going to come out? I don't think so. I think it is just noise, and people will be again disappointed, like they
Yeah,
have always been in SSR
yeah.
case.
Absolutely. Because in Uddhav Thackeray's case, what they are saying is that, see, this is all just to malign Aditya Thackeray because he is, he is quite, a very good person, and you can make out how good he is. And in which case, also they say that they keep on saying that, see, look at the tower location, look at the tower location. Not only the tower location, this, the lawyer is also saying that he has a witness, a woman who has not only seen, now again use the word alleged, okay, who has not only witnessed this this alleged crime of Disha Salian, but also a lot of other visuals where even cannibalism has happened.
Okay. This
Okay,
is not something I had heard of.
yeah, so this is what this Oja, the lawyer Oja, spoke in one. He said that, see, terrible things have happened. You can't even mention it. Those things that lady has seen, and she is going to be a witness. Now, you understand. So this man is speaking. In one sense, I admire him. If he is so bold, and apparently he and another person called Rashid were being bribed so many crores by Uddhav Thackeray to keep quiet, but they refused it. So if this is happening and they are real patriots, looking for justice, then it is a very good thing, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I think, and I heard about some claims made by this lawyer, and i- i- see, looking at Aditya Thackeray camp, we cannot say that that cannot happen. I mean, like, nothing evil in this world that persists would surprise me if this guy is not doing it, right? So we are not questioning that. The question is, are the people who are in the position of the power really serious about bringing Aditya Thackeray to the book and his
Yes,
entire gang?
absolutely.
That
Yeah.
is the question we are focusing. We are not saying that Aditya Thackeray gang is not involved. We are never said that. We know that he is involved into the murder and rape of Disha Salyan. That is common knowledge. Everybody knows that. What we are questioning is, are these authorities really going to do justice, or is it just going to be another political gimmick, or some other kind of a gimmick that is being shown to people? That, yes, see, every time whenever there is a critical thing happening in India, right before that this thing comes up. Every single time I've seen it. We've been through this, and people have been so patient, that like people have like drained their energy. You remember, like, how people used to be so active on social media platforms demanding justice. The intensity is not as
No, yeah, yeah. So here, let me just correct you a little bit, Saffron.
yes.
See, the thing is that all these voices are being censored. Okay, heavily censored. I'm shadow banned. Okay, many of my tweets, even before I put it, it disappears. Okay, so what happens is, like me, there are many people who are doing it, and whoever's speaking on behalf of SSR, their tweets are reduced to 30, 40 tweets, retweets, or people seeing it. So that means the not only the PR is active, but all these social media platforms have been already warned. And if you go to Grok also, Grok is telling you very clearly, if you mention SSR, if you talk about Disha Salian, if you talk about boycott Bollywood, immediately your tweet is removed. So what happens? Everything is hunky dory. Now John Abraham's movie, The Diplomat, has come, and this guy is going hunky dory over the fact that he's become such a success in OTT. But everybody knows this is all PR. He has given 100 interviews, okay, and only that is seen. Nobody is criticizing the movie. Nobody is criticizing Chhawa. Chhawa is supposed to be the best movie on earth after Pathan and Jawan. And you know what happened to Pathan and Jawan. Those are all just humbug, you know, box office numbers. So it's the same with Chava. And even, I don't think Vicky even has the courage to come out and say that, it has been such a huge success. So they themselves are guilty of it. So there is no negative voice after now. And that is why it has reduced. Otherwise, the, people's will to fight for SSR continues.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. See, I have personally seen that the outreach of the tweet has gone down significantly whenever you tweet about Disha Salian or Sushant Singh Rajput. And that said, these Bollywood people, they never raised any voice against any of these people, you know. So right now, since Sushant's murder, you have seen that these people, all they care about is making money, and that's why you may have seen that a surge in creating nationalistic movies, or creating movies where showing that how Hindus were tortured, and how they came out, like, how India, how they are trying to promote so-called Sanatan Dharma, but that's not the case. In even in those movies, they insult our dharma, and also they leave no stone unturned, because to them
Absolutely.
the only thing that matters is making money. And I really hope, I would say that, like, I really hope that there's this karmic universe and karmic justice that is happening, and Disha Salian and Sushant Singh Rajput, they get justice. At least, I want to see to the point where Aditya Thackeray is grilled, like literally grilled and questioned, and there are like hours and hours of interrogation. I want that to happen, but is that going to happen? We don't know. And even if it happens, I don't know how much I will be trusting authorities, because 5 years is a long time. 5 years is a long time for someone to wait for justice, and
See,
we have
Saffron,
already seen.
yeah. Saffron, see, if you're working in a company and you do not deliver, immediately your boss will be on your, at your neck, right?
Absolutely.
But in the
Absolutely.
case of CBI, nobody is questioning them. They are so happily having coffee, pakoda, and all that. They don't care about anything. They are
Yeah.
having a nice time. Every time somebody maybe coming and giving them a packet of money also, you don't know. Because for 5 years, if you're silent, that means there is something. Dal mein kuch nahi, a whole bag full of kala, you know. So there is something terribly wrong with CBI. And Savitri, let me just answer your question. You're saying that, see, why now gimmick election? No, we are talking about the BMC election and Bihar elections. So we're not talking about the other elections. So just to correct you there. And yes, so coming back to this point, is that these people have, another thing, Saffron, is that this time is supposed to be very good. All the planets, at least so many planets are aligning with each other, and they say the time is changing. So maybe, when the courts on earth don't give justice, because you saw what happened with the judge in Delhi. They had a fire in his house, and finally when the firework people came, brigade came, they found out there was cash in one room, so
Right.
much of cash. Okay, so
Yeah.
we have been suspecting corruption in judiciary, and nepotism is also there. So now this has been confirmed. So what is happening is all these cases where Riya Chakravarti is given bail, all these things, and Shobik Chakravarti gets some plum post in some government thing. All this is a result because judiciary needs to be cleaned up. It's also, it seems like now after this case, very, very corrupt. Nobody can
Absolutely.
trust. In fact, also the Allahabad court said that are we trash that you're putting, transferring him here? Even they have started questioning. You know,
It has
so
gotten to a
again,
point.
yeah, yeah. Back to you.
It has gotten to a point where judiciary has been compromised, authorities have been compromised, politicians have been compromised. Right? You can't trust. Like, getting justice in India has almost become a joke for a common man. And Sushant was not even a common man. He was a shining star, but
Yes,
he is not getting justice. So what hope is there for you and me? People say in Hindi, like, there is a saying कि सीधे साधे आदमी ने कोर्ट से दूर रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि कोर्ट कचहरी के मामले से, whenever you think about court, you think that, oh my god, it's so much hassle. You have to file petition, and there is hearing after hearing, but there is no justice delivered. Exactly, that's what is happening. And like you said, if you're not performing, your company removes you, right? But here, in this case, the CBI is not doing anything, right? I don't think if they did even any, if they even did any investigation or not, because SSR warriors were the ones who did all of this online investigation. Some people went there physically, took pictures, talked to people, gathered evidence, and gave it all to CBI and the authorities. But look what has come out. Nothing for last 5 years has come out. Even
yeah.
SSR's family was tired of, like, they came out late, first of all, but at least they came out. They also tried their best after coming out. It was like a day late, I think, but nothing came out, right? Even they've been drained. I don't see her, Sushant's sister, pursuing it as much as she should have. First of all, she came out
But
very
even
late.
But even in that case, the sister in America was cashing in on SSR's name and
I
trying
would
to
be
sell her books,
I wouldn't be
right?
surprised if she's still doing it. I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised if she's
uh,
still doing it. I mean, I think the only person that I feel for in the family is the poor father, who
yes,
must not have been tech savvy, and like who really counts on the government that, okay, now that the power has changed, daughter will get like the Sushant will get justice. But is it going to happen? That is something only to be seen. In the meanwhile,
yeah,
we will keep raising voice for justice
yeah,
like we have. Nothing
yes,
is going to bog us down.
yeah. So, see, one comment that Pusag has said is that I watched Arnab Goswami's interview with Disha's father. He wasn't able to do any eye contact. He was having trouble answering questions. That looks like he's been forced. Yes, here also, this is something very, very well said by Pusag, because this is what we noticed. He wasn't looking at the screen at all. There was something very, very. It's like someone who's not mentally stable or speaking. So that means there is something terrible going behind, and we want to know what is that. It's really, first of all, I feel sad for him. Any father would not like to be in that condition at all. But here again, see, if Fadnavis says that he is going to have a clean government and he's going to take, Maharashtra forward. Maharashtra forward is not through, all these bridges and all these, infrastructure. It
Correct.
is first thing is to give justice to the people, because if
Absolutely.
every person is going to be killed, then where is we only have mafia dons left in Mumbai.
No,
Okay, you're
absolutely.
entertaining Shah Rukh Khan. You're before Salman Khan even speaks. You are at his Galaxy apartment telling him that I'll give you 10 or 20, bodyguards. So, or security and all that. So, is Salman Khan more important than the common man?
Apparently,
And you
that's the
know the
case.
number of cases that Salman Khan has.
Apparently, that's the case, man. It doesn't matter which government is in power. You see what happened in Salman Khan case. You see what happened in Jia Khan case. Jia Khan, poor girl, totally forgotten. Her mom has been like, I'm not even sure now if she's even fighting or not, if she has
No,
given up
she's
or
not
not.
right. She has given up.
Exactly.
She said, yeah,
Exactly. She did it for 10 years. For 10 years, she got completely drained. She came on your platform. We tried our best to
yes.
get justice for her, but look what is happening.
No, same thing
And
with Janvi Kukreja, her mother. Every time she goes to court, she was saying that the judges have been changing left and right. So everything has to be said again and again and again. Why? Because the judiciary are corrupt. Now we can say it because proof has come out. And Kapil Sibal says that they should be checked. Kapil Sibal is the most corrupt lawyer in the world. And he's
absolutely.
saying that this should be checked. And you know about it for so many centuries that this has been happening, and you were a part of it. What happened in Calcutta? The girl who was gang raped and killed. Okay, you found some puny man and made him the culprit, and everybody else, the people who did it were they were rescued. And then after that, you give 25 lakhs to the parents as a bribe, and they refuse it. So, which itself means that you're covering up for something. Judiciary has to be questioned. Nepotism has to be questioned. Why is Chandrachud's son only supporting criminals like Riya Chakravarti? And now you had beer biceps. These are all people who are breaking the law. Why such an illustrious ex-CJI son is protecting these people? So that itself means that something you need to. Why, first of all, nepotism? Why should Chandrachud's son become, a eminent lawyer?
Oh, these are some significant questions that need to be raised, definitely. But at the end of the day, you see that there is no justice happening. Be it Salman Khan case, be it Jia Khan case, Sushant Singh Rajput, Disha Salian, and so many people died. I can go. The list can go on and on and on. But nothing has happened. So this time we
Absolutely.
really think that something is going to come out of it. Otherwise, this will further strengthen our belief that this was just for some political gimmick purposes that
And
this thing
also,
came.
don't forget the fact, Saffron, before we close this session, that most of the YouTubers either have been bought or they have left on their own. So we do not know whether they have been threatened, whether they have been paid off, and whether they wanted the case to die. a silent death.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely, that's been the case. Some of them have also been drained because they've given up. That, like, okay, nothing is going to happen in this case. The governments have been bought out. There has been a lots of money exchange that has already happened, and right now what you see is that, okay, some few fizzes of the fire, like to use this word, the flames of the fire, they come up, and we think that, oh, something is going to happen, something is
Yeah.
going to happen, and then it all dies down. You will see that most likely in this case,
And
what's going to
and
happen?
yeah, and all these people, the mainstream media, they're only worried about TRP. Please share,
Exactly,
please share. What do you want
exactly.
us to share? Okay, you get us the chief minister on the line and tell us what is he
Yeah.
going to do. Okay, we'll share it, but you need substance to share, right?
Absolutely. And
So yeah,
nothing new to share. Everything has been already shared. It's all right out there for you. But still,
yeah,
uh, we'll have to see what happens in
yeah,
this case. I'm at least glad that we are speaking about this and we are talking about it from every angle and without any prejudice, without any bias. And that's what we will continue to do.
absolutely. So with this, we end this session. Thank you, Saffron. Do join us sometime whenever you're free. Good night.
Absolutely.
Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.